Hello, everyone. Welcome to Watch Me Wednesday with Amy Hoffman, the Cider Mill Stamper. Thank you for joining me this week. And I am so excited to be coming to you on YouTube for my second week in a row. And to those of you who watch me through Facebook, to my typical Watch Me Wednesday, thank you for joining me. Today I have two stamp sets to bring to you. We have two new catalogs out right now. We have our Celebration catalog, which the Awesome Otters are in. This is a free stamp set with a $50 purchase. And then we have our January through June mini catalog that has the Sweet Conversations stamp set for sale. And I thought it would be nice to show you combining two stamp sets, one you can get for free and one that you can purchase. The Sweet Conversations stamp set I have been doing a lot of playing around with. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that in past weeks I've showed a couple cards using this stamp set. And I also have an upcoming class, to-go class, so you don't have to be local to me for this one. That is available using the Sweet Conversations stamp set. So be sure to visit my website. You can sign up for that up through January 15th if you're interested. All the info's there. And if you purchase this stamp set, along with some other things and get your order up to $50, you can get this stamp set for free. So we're mainly going to focus on our free stamp set tonight, the Awesome Otters. And then we're going to incorporate into our second card the Sweet Conversation stamp set. So we're just going to start out with a pretty basic card. I cut a standard thick white cardstock, basic white, to standard 5.5 by 8.5, scored it 4 1/4. And then I cut a piece of soft suede for matting purposes, and I cut that 4 by 5 1/4. And then I cut a piece of just regular basic white, and that is cut to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So just going, I think my last YouTube video I mentioned, just when you're doing your mats, just kind of subtract on each side. So from your starting amount, just subtract. So say go down 1/4 of an inch on each side, go down 1/8 of an inch on each side. That's easiest way to do your mats and figuring out the math. I know some people that's not their cup of tea. Some times of day that's not my cup of tea either. So I totally understand that. So that's what we're going to use for a card. But I'm just going to put aside my base card and my mat for now because we're going to be doing our initial stamping. And I have taken the little swimming otter for this one. And for this, I would recommend, like, maybe if you are looking for placement on a piece of cardstock, and you really want to see what you're doing, consider using one of the bigger blocks because it gives you a lot more, like your fingers aren't going to be in the way and you can watch where you're going to put that little guy. So especially if you're really precisely trying to get it somewhere or leave a certain amount of space, it's nice to use a big block because you can really see what you're doing. Now, I'm going to use, and of course I always forget, this is my E block that I'm using for that. Now, he'll fit on smaller blocks as well. That was just a suggestion of something you might try if you are trying, like I said, to specifically put him in a specific place. So I'm going to put him down in my right-hand corner, but I'm going to leave room underneath him for a sentiment. So I'm wanting to keep an eye on how much space I'm leaving. So it is nice that I have this bigger block here. So I'm taking my Memento black ink and I'm just stamping him maybe about an inch up from the bottom, maybe a little less than an inch. And then I've got my cute little honor. This is a nice simple card. It's just gonna be some stamping and coloring. Coloring, such a soothing thing to do. And with our blends, what a um, great way to add some nice color. Now remember with your blends, you want to make sure you have something underneath because it can bleed through to the other side. So I've got my nice little mat of paper here. And then I'm taking my, I've got my light crumb cake, my dark crumb cake, and then I have my ivory, which is one of the neutrals. Now, I have some exciting news for you. Next month, we are going to be having a whole new collection of blends that are kind of all different shades of skin tones, which are so awesome because it really gives you the opportunity to add skin tone. Obviously, not with the Otter, but when you have a person to color in, that you can just really get the perfect skin tone you want for the person you're sending your card to, which I think is just awesome. But for our Otter, this kind of like nice to have little variations of the neutral color. So this is my ivory. So I'm just going to color the center of him. I don't know what you call that part, but center with my ivory. And the ivory's like a nice, like, I mean, it can be used for skin tone. But like I said, we're going to have a lot more skin tone options for you now. But it also gives like kind of a light tan coloring to it. So then I'm going to take my, okay, this is my dark. And I'm just going to outline, you can see it's a little darker over here. I'm going to just kind of where the heavier areas, just kind of add a little bit of that dark in, kind of just go around him. I find a lot of times with critters that if you kind of outline the outside of their body, that kind with the darker color, that kind of adds like a nice shading for your animal. So then I'm taking my light crumb cake and I'm just kind of blending that outer trim that I added in there with my light. Now, if you're finding you want some more dark, you want a little more shadow on him, you're just going to go back in with your dark. And I'm using the thinner end. And you'll notice now that I've added the lighter color down, it's blending more because it's nice and wet. Now, if you waited a little too long, you might not find that blending effect. You might have to go over it a couple times. But I'm just going to take my smaller end over here too to blend that lightly. That just adds a little more shading, shadowing around him. Don't forget his ears. And then I grabbed my Pool Party. So I'm going to add some color to my water, which I don't need to color everything. Just kind of randomly doing my little water drops here. And my waves. And that was my lighter one. I'm going to go in with my darker one now. Thinner side. I think I like the thinner side better for this. Actually, I think the darker one probably would be the better one to start off with. Go back in. Oops. Thicker end of. I think I'm gonna color a little more of that in. Oh, this is my dried out one. I left the cap off. That's the key thing with these blends. You cannot let your caps, you really want to make sure they snap shut. Otherwise, because they are an alcohol base, they're going to evaporate. So just be sure you're it's weird too. If they dry out, they might still be good on one end. So I've found that to be the case. It's usually I leave that brush end. I don't push it tight enough. I've learned my lesson from a couple of these, and this must be one of the ones I did it with. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to take a sentiment. I'm going to do It's Birthday Time. I found out it was one of my coworkers' birthdays today, and totally felt bad that I didn't have a birthday card. So I'm going to turn this into a belated card. I have to find the sentiment for a belated birthday card to go inside, but we're going to do It's Birthday Time on the outside. I'm just going to do that in black. Okay. And then to make it look like a birthday card, this stamp set also comes with a doubled up on that one. Comes with a little birthday hat. So I'm going to just take a piece of scrap white and my memento and stamp a little birthday hat. Then I took some, just my Stampin' Write markers, and I'm just gonna, I find the markers are a little more vibrant than the blends, and for the birthday hat I just really wanted a very vibrant color, so I'm gonna color my birthday hat with the markers. Very carefully, and I think I picked Highland Heather. Yes, I did. It is getting tougher and tougher. I think I'm starting to lose a little of my closeness eyesight here because I seem to be straining a little to read these days. And then I took my, I think this is Crush Curt. Oh, nope, So Saffron. Color in my pom-pom and my little polka dots on my hat ever so carefully. Probably could use the fine tip end of this, but okay. And then I'm just gonna fussy cut that out, and I could just, when I fussy cut, I try to leave a little bit of white around it, although I think down by where I'm going to connect it to his head, I'm going to really make sure I get right up against the line. Actually, I think I'll probably will do that for all of it. Now our paper snips are awesome when you have to fussy cut because they cut so precisely, and all you have to do if you have trouble cutting, you just want to move your paper and less movement of your actual scissors. So see how I'm just rotating that paper around? You have a lot more control when you're cutting, just moving your paper and slowly cutting with your scissors. I think a lot of people struggle with precision cutting and sometimes don't like fussy cutting. We're just cutting a little thing though, so it's not like super, although I'm trying to get right up against that pom-pom. It's a little of a challenge here. These scissors are sharp, so just be careful of your fingers. Of course, I'm sticking mine right in right in the line of the scissors, but I'm just really trying to get around that curve there. Okay, there we go. And we're just gonna pop that on him. I'm not gonna pop it up because we want this to look like it's on his head. So I'm gonna take some of my glue here. Just add a little glue. Of course, I think this one wasn't upside down. So I'm looking at all my bottles, and none of them are upside down the way I should be storing them, so the glue comes out. So this one's not too full. Let me grab another one. This one feels better. It's got more in there. Yep. Okay. Remember, a little goes a long way with your glue. Stick that in there. Animals I often like to do a little tilted hat. I think we're gonna keep his on straight today. There we go. Very cute. Turning that nice little swimming otter into a birthday otter. And we will layer that onto our card. Now you see how it did bleed through a little bit there, so it's good that we're working on a surface here. And I'm just going to use my Tombow today to attach since it's close by. And we'll just mat this centered on our So Saffron mat. Nice thing about the glue too is if you don't go right down in the right spot, you can kind of just move it down, move it sideways with your nails. I'm losing some of my nails right before my nail just snapped right before I started recording. Okay, then we'll layer this onto our card base. And I try to go pretty lightly with the glue because I don't want it smushing out, getting a mess everywhere. You don't want to go back to kindergarten where glue was on everything. Okay. There we go. A nice, just simple card that just really is cute and fun. So that's our first card using the Awesome Otters set. Now we are going to incorporate our Sweet Conversation stamp set into our next card along with the coordinating die set that goes with it, the Sweethearts dies. Now these are the dies that come in the Sweetheart dies. You can buy that as a bundle and save 10%, or you can get things separately if one of the items doesn't float your boat. But it's nice because these hearts coordinate with cutting out the hearts in the stamp set. So that's a nice little thing. It also coordinates with the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper, which I love, and actually we're using on the next card. So those are the dies. So for this card, I took a piece of just standard card size Flirty Flamingo, and then I cut a mat that is, let's see, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I took some of the Designer Series paper. This is one side. This is not the side we're going to use. We're going to go with this more subtle, I don't know, soft, cloudy kind of paper. I thought it kind of went nice with the Flirty Flamingo. I can't remember if Flirty Flamingo is one of the colors that is listed to coordinate with the paper, but I thought this really did go well together. So I cut this to, let's see, 3 3/4 by, let's see, 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm just gonna mat this on here, and I'm actually gonna do this. I'll start attaching this part now. Grab my glue again. So this is gonna be our backing, our backdrop for our card. I'm just having a little bit of that white peek out, just kind of like I did with the last card too. I really like it when you just have a hint of your mat hanging out. It really makes it pop. Ooh, I think I might be using a little too much glue because I'm feeling it on my fingers. Or I stuck my hand in it. That's more likely the case. I'm not an over glue user, but I definitely do have times where I stick my hand right in the middle. Oh, I think I did because I see I got a little smear on there, but it's not that noticeable. Okay. Center that. So there's our card base. Now I took a piece of basic white and I cut this out with the rectangle stitch dies, which I'll show you those. Come in all different sizes. This is a great, like if you don't have a lot of dies, this is a really good one to have because it's so versatile. You can use it for across a lot of things, and you can see like there's ones you can use as labels, you can use it for matting, so many different options with it, and comes with, let's see how many, I know it tells me somewhere on here, 13 different stitched rectangles to use. So this is one of my favorites for using. So for this guy, what we're gonna do is I took my little floating otter who's on his back here. He's holding a little fish, which our final card, you're not going to see that fish, but we're going to place him towards the top at an angle, kind of like he's floating on his back there. And we're going to do that in Memento Black again. I'm leaving room at the bottom because I'm going to put something down there. Okay. Next, I'm going to color my little otter. I'm going to go with the same color scheme I went on the last one because I liked how that turned out. So I'll start with my ivory in the middle. I'm not going to color the fish because, like I said, I'm going to cover him up ultimately. But I'll color, because I don't know how much I'm going to cover up, I'm going to color all the area, the belly area in. I'm not talking because I get so focused when I'm coloring. Oh my goodness. Coloring is just kind of like my peacefulness. Okay, then we are going to take, I'm going to take the dark one first. Go around that, oops, wrong end. Go around that edge there. It's a little more furry highlights over there. Okay, let's pull in our light. Kind of blend that together. I'm going to go back over the nose too with the dark because that's got some white area, so I want to kind of color that nose in. Cute little footsies there. I have to say, animals are one of my favorite kind of stamps. I like buy every animal stamp set that comes out because they just are, they're my thing. They're my love. Cute little critters. There's another set in our new catalog. I have not gotten it yet that I really do love the critters in, and the name is failing me right now, but check it out. Check out the critters. Actually, there are a couple critter sets because I'm now thinking, I'm like, wait, there's another set that I did buy. So nice masculine set for some masculine cards. I'm hoping to work on some birthday cards for the men in my life, considering there are quite a few of them, and they're always the hardest ones to do birthday cards, right? Whoops, wrong one. I'm going to go back over and get a little more darkness in over here. I'm also going to color in that nose, like I said. A little bit more over here, too. Go back over again with my light color just to blend that in so you don't have those harsh lines. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to take a piece of scrap white again. This time I'm going to take one of my hearts. There are a lot of different hearts in the Sweet Conversation stamp set. I took the kind of wider one, and I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo ink pad, my vintage Flirty Flamingo ink pad. This is one of my older ones that I have yet. Actually, I may have replaced it, but sometimes I can't find one, so we revert back to the vintage ones. They still work. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp one of these hearts. Now, this stamp set, it's meant, you're like going to notice there's kind of variations of color. It's not that your stamp did not stamp fully. That's how this stamp is designed. It's designed to give you different shadowing effects in your heart. So I like that. That's really creates a neat effect. And then there are dies in the set I showed you that coordinate with this to cut that out. And I pre-cut one somewhere. Oh, there it is. I'm very organized today on my desk, but it still seems like even when you have little on the desk, it still seems to have a ton. So I'm going to plop this down to make it look like he's holding a heart instead of a fish. I'm going to take some glue to add that guy down. May have overdone it with the glue. Hopefully not. I'm just going to make sure we cover up that full fish there. Oops. Sliding heart. Actually, I might tilt this a little bit. Look like he's holding it there. Okay. Then we're going to place this, actually, we're going to grab a sentiment here. If I want to do, I'm going to take You Are Utterly Awesome from the Otter stamp set. And we're going to do that down here. Just need a block for that. Okay, I'm going to just do that in my memento again. Just going to center that right down at the bottom. Okay. This makes a nice, like, kids' Valentine's card. Vincent or a good friend. I just remember like little puns like that on Valentine's cards when I was a kid. Okay, now I'm going to place this on here. But I also have pre-cut from the die set these hearts, and I'm going to center that on here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this first so then I can figure out where I need to place this on my card. So now this is like intricacy with getting this very lightly getting my glue on here. Another thing you can do with this, if you're not good with like controlling your glue, is you can take our adhesive sheets and die cut with those. That makes it a bit easier to place these on, but I'm always too lazy to find the adhesive sheets. So I just go with the Amy Can Be Sparing on her glue. Okay, so and I should have my silicone mat here, which I don't. I had it around here somewhere, so hopefully I did not get glue on an area that's not going on the paper. Okay, I'm just going to try to center, which I'm not doing a good job. Center my hearts. There. Okay. And I'm going to add adhesive to the back of my rectangle. And probably just a little bit, just light little dabs on my hearts just to make sure that those are not coming off the page. And I'm going to carefully figure out where I want to place this so my heart land with my edge here. I think I'm going to go upward. So I'm kind of just leaving the same amount of space here as I am here. And I'm just using this heart as a judgment because I don't want it really going off the edge there. Okay, there we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's cards, and I hope you'll join me again next week for Watch Me Wednesday on my Facebook channel or on my YouTube channel. Have a wonderful week.